In this video, I want to go through most of the sketch elements that are available in Solidworks and the best way to use some of these tools. I'm going to start my sketch by clicking on the line command and then clicking on the front plane. There are two ways to get started sketching in Solidworks: to place your first point and then move the cursor and look for certain elements on the display, like a horizontal, which will snap the line horizontal and apply a horizontal relationship. There's also a vertical. Whenever you see a yellow, that means it's going to apply a relationship. If you see something like this, it's an angle symbol, obviously, but it's not yellow, so it's not going to be applied. You can also see dotted lines and a vertical symbol, but again, the vertical symbol this time is not yellow. The dotted lines just are inferencing that show that you're temporarily lined up to the origin. At this point, we're going to get a coincident relationship to the origin, and because the symbol is yellow, it will actually apply that relationship when I click. So I'm going around click, click, click. Now this is not just a click, but a click release, click release, click release, click release, click release. Okay, now when you're done with that, there's a couple of ways to get out of it. You can hit escape on the keyboard. You could select the select icon on the toolbar. You can right click and get out that way. Now let's see some other ways to do this. There are different CAD systems work different ways. One of the nice things about SolidWorks is that it allows you to use just about any one of those methods. You can click and hold and drag and then release, and click and hold and drag and release, click and hold and drag. That's another way to do it. Some people prefer to do that over the click method. So I call these two methods the click and the click drag. If you're accustomed to doing it one way or another, doesn't matter, you can do it either way. And the results are pretty much the same. So that's the straight line. To get out of this, I'm just going to press the escape key. You can select a line and use the construction geometry, the tooltips going off the screen here. This will turn that into a dotted line or a phantom line. You can also directly from the context menu turn that into construction geometry. If you want to draw rectangles, we have several ways of drawing rectangles. One is the corner rectangle, where you click one corner, click the opposite corner. Second method is the center rectangle, where you place a center point and drag half a diagonal. There's the three-point corner rectangle, so that you can get a rectangle at an angle. So I'll click one corner, click another corner, and then drag the perpendicular. Three-point center rectangle. Okay, this one's a little more complicated. I don't think I've ever actually used this, but I'd click at the center, click at the midpoint of one edge, and then drag out the other direction. There's also a parallelogram in here, so that you can click one line, drag the angle, and click the other corner. What you can't see here is that on items like this, there are some sketch relations that have been created. On the horizontal rectangles, we have horizontal and vertical lines, but on some of the other types of rectangles, we have perpendicular and parallel. And on the parallelogram, of course, we just have parallel relationships. Those are automatically created by the software. You can add additional relationships if you want, or delete the automatically created relationships and make your own to make the sketch do what you want. I need to clear the screen here, so what I'm going to do is Control A to select all and delete. There are several ways to draw a circle as well. Well, two ways anyway: a center point circle and a perimeter circle. So the center point circle is easy enough. Click the center, drag out the radius. And the perimeter circle is 3-point circle. Click a point on the circumference, click another point on the circumference, and then drag out the third point. Okay, now in addition to circles, we can do arcs, center point arc, tangent arc, and 3-point arc. Let's switch it up here and do a center point arc. The center point arc, you click the center, drag out the radius, click the first point, and then click the second point. The way this arc goes is determined by if your cursor is inside or outside the arc radius. And you'll have to probably play with that a little bit to get it just the way you want it so that you can predictably create the arc that you intend to create. A tangent arc comes off of any existing arc or line, or I believe ellipse or spline as well. You can also return and make this go anti-tangent, or I believe you can even make it go perpendicular. This all is dependent on how you move the cursor. When you create a line, one of the things you can do when you're drawing a second line from that endpoint, if you press the A key, it will toggle to a tangent arc. Pressing A again will get you back to a straight line. The third option here is the 3-point arc, and as the name implies, you'll click an endpoint, click the other endpoint, and then drag the radius. Now let's Control A and delete again. We have several ways to create slots. I'll just demonstrate a couple of these because they're all pretty similar. You click the center of one arc, click the center of the other arc, and then drag out the radius. Splines are something that I cover in a different video. You can take a look in the surfacing videos, and there are a couple videos on splines there, but I'll hit it just quickly here. A spline, you can click, 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 click. And to end it, you just double click or hit escape. This is the regular spline where the control points are all on the spline. You can use a style spline, and this uses a type of spline where the control points are all off the spline. Some people are more used to this type than the other. There are different applications for the different types of splines, but we're not going to get into that here. The equation-driven curve is going to require you to input some data, and that's more involved than what we want to do right here. The ellipse, click the center, drag one control point, and then drag the other. It doesn't matter if the first point is the long or short axis. Another thing that you might need to know is a partial ellipse, which is a little more confusing. I'm going to Control A and delete everything here. Let's get back to the partial ellipse. Partial ellipse, you do like a full ellipse first. So click the center, drag one axis, drag the other axis, and the third point that you click, the end of the second axis, is also going to be the start of the partial ellipse. So you can trace that around and then click where you want to end it. You can also get this by drawing a full ellipse and trimming part of it away. There's a parabola where you click the focus, click this second point, and then click and drag the included section of the parabola. And the conic is going to be pretty much the same or very similar. Click the first endpoint, click the second endpoint, and then drag the row value. You can set the row value on the conic in the property manager. Control A and delete. The polygon is an interesting and very powerful tool. It's like a circle that you set up. You click the center and drag the radius. You can also set how many sides this is going to have, so you can give it an odd number like 7. You can put dimensions on it. It's set up for inscribed or circumscribed circle. Solidworks also has a point tool where you can just create a point. These have some usefulness as as construction items in your sketch. Convert entities will take an edge from an existing solid and convert it into a sketch entity. The sketch text is an important thing that we use from time to time. You can set up text on a curve, and I put it on that circle, for example, and I would just say sketch text on here. You can take this and increase the font, turn off the use document font, and select a font of your own, anything that's installed on your computer. Of course, this will have to be installed on anybody's computer who uses the files that you send them, because the font is not stored inside the file. It's installed on your computer. This text that's created is actual sketch geometry. As such, having a lot of sketch geometry in a sketch will slow it down. You don't want to write a whole paragraph in here, for example. Any other tools that you want to look for, you can find under Tools, Customize, which is off the screen here. Go to the Commands tab and down to the Sketch entry, and you can find all of the sketch tools here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later on.